Level 1. The first encounter. You don't remember the first body clearly. Not the face, not the details, not even the exact position it was found in. What stays with you, what refuses to fade no matter how hard you try, is the smell. It hangs thick in the air, heavy and suffocating, like something alive, like something that doesn't want to let go. You step inside a dimly lit apartment in Baltimore, and for a brief moment, everything feels unreal, as if you've walked into a place where time has stopped, where something is watching you from the silence itself. Your badge still feels too new against your chest, almost out of place, and your gun, still clean, untouched, feels like it belongs to a different world. But then your eyes settle on what's in front of you, and reality snaps back harder than you expected. A human life, or what's left of it, placed with such precision that it doesn't feel random. It feels intentional, controlled, almost artistic in a way that makes your stomach tighten. The local cops move around like this is just another day, another case, another report that will be filed and forgotten. Their voices are low, casual, practiced. But you can't shake the feeling that something here is wrong in a way they're not seeing. The silence isn't empty. It's heavy, almost deliberate. The room isn't messy, it's arranged. And the body, it isn't just lying there, it's been positioned. You start noticing things others ignore. The unnatural calm, the absence of struggle, the way everything feels too clean, too perfect. This isn't chaos. This isn't rage. This is control. And then a thought forms, slow and cold, settling deep inside your mind. This wasn't just a murder. It was a message. Whoever did this didn't just kill. They communicated. And without anyone telling you, without any official warning, you realize something far more unsettling. You've just stepped into something that didn't start with you. A conversation already in motion. And somehow, you're now a part of it. Level 2. Enter the hunt. By the time the case officially reaches you, your life has already begun to shift in ways you didn't expect. You are now a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, assigned to the Behavioral Analysis Unit, the division that deals with minds that don't function like normal people. Minds that don't panic, don't regret, don't break the way others do. At first, it felt like an achievement, something you worked hard for. But now, as your phone rings at hours that don't belong to any normal schedule, you start to understand what this role really demands. Sleep becomes optional. Time loses structure. Days and nights blur into one continuous stretch of crime scenes, interrogation rooms, and case files stacked high enough to feel suffocating. Every case pulls you deeper, forcing you to see the world through eyes you were never meant to have. But this case, it refuses to stay normal. There's a pattern here, something subtle but undeniable. The victims aren't random. The locations aren't accidental, and the details, small, almost invisible, repeat in ways that feel deliberate. You go through the files again and again, searching for inconsistencies, hoping something breaks the pattern. But instead, it becomes clearer, sharper, like it's waiting for you to finally understand it. And that's when it hits you, not suddenly, but slowly, like something sinking in deeper with every second. You're not just investigating anymore, you're being guided. Every step you take feels expected. Every connection feels anticipated. It's as if someone is watching you from the other side of the case, leaving behind just enough for you to follow. This isn't random violence. It's structured, controlled, and disturbingly, it feels like an invitation. And the deeper you go, the harder it becomes to ignore one terrifying possibility, that you're not chasing the killer anymore. He's leading you exactly where he wants you to be. Level 3. Forging the mind. Before all of this, your life had structure, predictability, a sense of control that now feels almost foreign. At the FBI Academy in Quantico, everything was calculated. Every movement, every decision, every lesson designed to prepare you for situations most people could never imagine. You learned how to shoot, how to pursue, how to survive under pressure. But those were just the basics. The real training wasn't physical, it was psychological. You were taught how to think like the people you were meant to hunt, how to step inside minds that operated without empathy, without hesitation, without remorse. You studied case after case, memorizing patterns of behavior, understanding how small details could reveal something far more dangerous beneath the surface. Back then, it all felt distant, like studying shadows from a safe distance. Your instructors warned you, though, not directly, not in a way that sounded dramatic, but in quiet, controlled tones that carried more weight than any lecture. They told you that this job wouldn't stay at work, that it would follow you home, sit with you in silence, creep into your thoughts when you least expected it. That over time, the line between understanding these minds and becoming too familiar with them would begin to blur. You listened, of course, but you didn't fully believe it. Not then. Not when everything still felt theoretical. But now, standing over bodies arranged like carefully designed puzzles, you feel it happening. The shift, the change. You're no longer just observing patterns, you're starting to anticipate them. And somewhere deep inside, a thought begins to form. Quiet, unsettling, but impossible to ignore. That to catch him, you may have to think exactly like him. Level 4. The first pattern. The case becomes yours completely after the third victim is discovered, and with that comes a pressure that feels almost physical. It's no longer just another investigation buried under paperwork. It's now something visible, something the media has started to circle like vultures. Headlines begin forming before facts are confirmed, speculation spreads faster than evidence, and the public starts demanding answers you don't yet have. Every move you make now carries weight. Every delay feels like failure. You revisit each crime scene, forcing yourself to slow down, to look beyond what's obvious. And that's when the details begin to reveal themselves, not loudly, not dramatically, but in quiet, precise ways. The positioning of the bodies, the absence of struggle, the unnatural calm that lingers in every location. It doesn't feel like chaos, it feels designed. You build your first profile carefully, organized, intelligent, patient. Someone who doesn't act on impulse, someone who plans, who waits, who blends into normal life so perfectly that no one would ever suspect them. But profiling isn't solving, it gives you shape, not answers. Days pass, then weeks, and the tension only grows heavier. Every lead feels incomplete, every theory slightly off. And just when you start to believe you're getting closer, when the pattern finally begins to make sense in your mind, another body appears. Not randomly, not unexpectedly, but exactly where you predicted it would be. The location is right, the pattern is correct. Everything lines up, except for one detail that hits harder than anything else. You were too late, by hours. And in that moment, a realization settles in colder than before, that understanding him isn't enough, because somehow he's always one step ahead. Level 5. The game begins. Now it becomes personal, not in the way you expected, but in a way that slowly creeps into your thoughts and refuses to leave. The killer doesn't get reckless, doesn't lose control, doesn't make mistakes. Instead, he evolves. His movements become sharper, more precise, more confident. He isn't rushing, he's adapting. Victims begin to reveal connections that were invisible before, patterns hidden inside routines so ordinary no one ever thought to question them. Daily habits, predictable paths, small repeated actions, things people do without thinking. And suddenly, you realize something that changes everything. He isn't just choosing victims, he's studying them, watching them, learning them, the same way you've been trying to understand him. You go back through every detail again, but this time it feels different. The case isn't just data anymore, it feels like a system, a design, and at the fourth crime scene, something shifts. Something new appears, small, almost meaningless to anyone else, but to you, it stands out instantly. A detail that doesn't belong, placed too perfectly to be ignored. It's not evidence, it's not a mistake, it's deliberate. And in that moment, a chilling realization settles deep in your chest. He knows you're watching, not just the investigation, you, your methods, your thinking, your patterns. And worse than that, he wants you to keep going. This isn't just a hunt anymore. It's a game. And you've already stepped too far in to walk away. Level 6. Think like him. The break doesn't come in the field. It doesn't happen during a chase or inside a crime scene. It comes late at night, in a room filled with scattered photos, marked maps, and exhaustion so deep it almost feels like silence. You've been staring at the same patterns for hours, maybe longer, trying to force them into something that makes sense. But logic isn't enough anymore. Evidence isn't enough. So you do something you've been trying to avoid this whole time. You stop thinking like an agent, and you start thinking like him. You strip away procedure, remove emotion, and focus only on intent, on control, on purpose. You retrace every step, not as an investigator, but as the one who created the pattern. And then it clicks. Not suddenly, but like something falling into place that was always meant to. The locations were never random. They were never just points on a map. They follow something deeper, something tied to time, not space. A rhythm, a schedule, a sequence built on predictability. And for the first time since this started, you're ahead. You predict the next move before it happens and act immediately, deploying a team, setting up surveillance, controlling every possible variable. The environment is locked down, the timing is perfect, and for once, you're ready before he is. Hours pass in complete silence. Tension building with every second, then movement. A figure appears exactly where you expected. Your heart slows, your breathing steadies, and your training takes over. Everything feels aligned, controlled, perfect. And for a brief moment, it feels like you finally won. Level 7, the illusion shatters. But the moment you think you finally caught up to him, everything breaks. The man you take into custody isn't what you expected. There's no tension in his body, no calculated silence, no hidden confidence. Instead, there's confusion, fear, genuine panic in his eyes that can't be faked. He doesn't understand why he's there, doesn't recognize the situation, doesn't fit the profile you spent weeks building. And slowly, painfully, the truth starts to sink in. This isn't him. This was never him. What you caught wasn't the killer. It was a distraction, a decoy placed exactly where you would be looking. The realization hits harder than anything you've faced so far. Not because you failed, but because of what it means. He knew. He knew how you think, how you predict, how you move. He didn't just plan the murders, he planned you. Every step you took, every conclusion you reached, every move you made. It was all anticipated. And while you were busy chasing a shadow he created, something far worse was happening somewhere else. Another body is found across the city, executed with the same precision, the same controlled brutality. No mistakes, no hesitation, just a quiet, terrifying reminder that he's not reacting to you. He's controlling you. And in that moment, the balance shifts completely. You're no longer the one hunting. You're the one being studied. Level 8, the final invitation. After that, nothing feels the same. Sleep becomes shallow, broken, almost useless. Every sound carries weight. Every movement feels intentional. Every stranger becomes a possibility your mind refuses to ignore. You start seeing patterns everywhere, not just in the case, but in the world around you. Streets begin to feel mapped, conversations feel layered, even silence starts to feel like it means something. And then it happens. The next scene, the next message, hidden so carefully that no one else notices it. But you do. Of course you do. Because by now, it's meant for you. It's not a clue, not a mistake, not even a challenge. It's something far more direct. A location, a time, clear, precise, unavoidable. He wants you there. No confusion, no room for interpretation, just a decision. And despite everything you've learned, despite protocol, despite logic, you go, alone. The place is isolated, quiet in a way that feels unnatural, almost peaceful on the surface. For a moment, nothing happens. No movement, no sound. Just stillness stretching longer than it should. And then slowly, something changes. You don't see it at first. You feel it. That presence, that awareness. Like someone has been there the entire time, waiting, watching, knowing you would come. And in that exact moment, one truth becomes impossible to deny. You didn't find him. He let you arrive. Level 9, the mind of the monster. When you finally see him, it's not how you imagined it would be. There's no chase, no sudden movement, no desperate attempt to escape. He doesn't run. He doesn't panic. He just stands there, calm, composed, almost as if this moment was always meant to happen. For a few seconds, neither of you speak. The silence between you feels heavier than anything you've experienced before. Not empty, but full of understanding that doesn't need words. And then he looks at you, not like you're a threat, not like you're the one who caught him, but like he's been expecting you all along. When he finally speaks, it isn't rushed or defensive. It's controlled, measured, almost relieved. He tells you everything, not because he has to, but because he wants to. Because in his mind, you've earned it. You were the only one who saw the pattern. The only one who understood the structure behind the chaos. The murders weren't random acts of violence. They were designed, structured. Each one a test, a demonstration of control, of precision, of superiority. People weren't just victims, they were variables. And you were the final piece. Not someone meant to stop him, but someone meant to witness him, to understand him. And as you listen, something unsettling begins to form deep inside you. A realization you don't want to accept, that part of you does understand, not agree, not justify, but understand in a way that feels dangerously close. Level 10, after the darkness. The case closes the way all cases eventually do. Reports are filed, statements are recorded, headlines rise and fall until something new replaces them. To the world outside, it becomes just another story. Another criminal caught, another threat removed, another chapter finished. The city returns to its rhythm. People move on, and life continues like nothing ever happened. On the surface, everything is back to normal. But for you, nothing feels the same anymore, because what you experienced wasn't just a case. It wasn't just another investigation to solve and forget. It was something deeper, something that stayed with you. Even now, when everything is over, the silence doesn't feel empty. It feels familiar. You sit alone, reviewing the final report, reading through details you already know, but something keeps pulling you back. Not the evidence, not the outcome, but the understanding you gained along the way. You saw how he thought, how he planned, how he controlled everything without being seen. And that realization doesn't leave you. It stays, lingering in the back of your mind like something unfinished. Because deep down, you know one thing that no report will ever say out loud. He wasn't unique. He was just one of many. Others are out there, watching, learning, waiting. And the most unsettling part of all is that now, after everything you've seen, you'll recognize them. And once you recognize them, there's no going back.